You're listening to the Results Driven Organizations podcast with Dr. Tanya Lowe, a podcast of curated conversations with C-suite leaders and those who support organizational growth and development. Get ready for inspiring interviews, educational lessons, and thought-provoking discussions that will challenge you to execute something new and innovative that will drive results in your organization. And now, here's Dr. Tanya Lowe.
Hello, you're listening to the Results Driven Organizations podcast with Dr. Tanya Lowe, using my results-driven philosophy of strategy, leadership, teams, and customer experiences. I help organizations develop their best-kept secret, their human capital. This podcast is designed to expand the conversation with C-suite leaders and those who support organizational growth and development, and what it really takes to create, develop, and maintain results-driven and high-performing organizations. Our guest today is Dilruba Malik, Senior SQA Manager and IoT Security for Palo Alto Networks. And we're going to have Dilruba explain what all of that means. She is a speaker, award-winning WomenTech Global Ambassador and Country Leader, with over 15 years of distinguished experience in end-to-end software testing. She stands as a pillar of excellence in the tech industry. An accomplished engineering manager, Dilruba has steered QA teams at some of the world's leading technology companies, including Microsoft, Cisco, and Hitachi, ensuring the highest standards of software quality and reliability. Renowned for her leadership acumen, Dilruba excels in orchestrating teams, methodologies, and projects. Her expertise spans Agile Scrum, project management, test automation, and comprehensive testing strategies. Whether it's leading a critical bug triage meeting or devising a robust test strategy, her ability to seamlessly manage multiple projects and cross-functional collaborations sets her apart. Her holistic understanding of the software development lifecycle and dedication to continuous improvement make her a transformative leader in the field. Dilruba, welcome to RDO.
Thank you so much, Tanya. It's my pleasure to be in here and contribute to your show.
Oh, it's so good to have you here. You know, we met during the Women in Tech conference, and I thought, I've got to get her on the podcast because we didn't have as much time as I would have liked for us to have had. And I thought that you could truly contribute to our leadership audience. So are you ready to jump in?
Definitely.
Absolutely. So being a woman in tech, women in tech, according to the 2023 Women in Tech report, women make up only 28% of the global tech workforce, and an even smaller 15% hold leadership positions. The transition from independent contributor to leader can come with some unique obstacles for women in a male-dominated field. So think for a moment, what were some of the key challenges you faced when moving into a leadership position, particularly as a woman in the tech industry? 15% hold leadership positions. The transition from independent contributor to leader can come with some unique obstacles for women in a male-dominated field. So think for a moment, what were some of the key challenges you faced when moving into a leadership position, particularly as a woman in the tech industry?
That's a very, very interesting question and everyday question because every individual contributor asks themselves the same question. When it's time to think about, do we want to go more in depth in technical side, or do we take leadership role to become a generalist from the specialist? That's the biggest question we are asking ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. So some of the challenge that I see, even in my career, what I see, that am I ready? That's the first question we are asking. Even though if you compare yourself with your counterpart who are becoming a male counterpart who becoming a leader, maybe they're not even ready 50%, but they are already asking for the change and they want to be in that role and learn themselves in the role and continue. And as a female, we have, I guess, mental block that we always think, am I ready? I think I'm not ready yet. Maybe I need to be 100% ready in order to ask for leadership role or jump into that. What about the time commitment? Can I do it while I'm making my family? Or, if I'm thinking about extending my family or family planning, should I take the leadership role or not? There are a lot of mental blockage and social blockage we have that we have to take into consideration before we even actually ask for the leadership role and execution. So
Wow. As you were talking, and I think this expands even beyond the IT industry. Women are constantly asking themselves, am I ready? Do I need another certification? Maybe I need another degree. Am I truly qualified? And I think on one hand, it's okay to ask ourselves those questions, but on the other hand, we need to balance those questions out with, what does your track record show? Your track record shows you're already enough, you're already ready, you're more than qualified. And as you said, many of your male counterparts, they're operating at C-level and they're already saying, hey, put me in I want to go in the higher game, coach. And they're moving toward it and they're not second guessing themselves. So that is
I'm not
definitely.
saying that you don't have to be ready. Definitely, in every
Absolutely.
job function, you have to be ready. You have to show your personal brand. You have to show that you are expert in your specific scenario. But only thing I feel that we think the checklist too hard, right? That if I see a job description, I don't have to be 100% ready for that job description, that, oh, this check mark work, this, I did all that, then I can ask for it. All I'm saying that we are expert in our particular area or expert area, but when we are checking the job description, we don't have to be check marking 100% all the bullet point. But
Yes.
still, we take our transferable skill and learn in that particular role also. But we don't have to be shy of asking for that.
Absolutely. So with that being said, was there can you think back to any particular mental block that you had, and how did you overcome that challenge?
Sure. So yeah, definitely I had to overcome this challenge that, okay, am I ready, right? So if I was compared with whoever in the promotion pipeline, right? So I used to excel in all of those criteria that, I'm doing very efficient project deliverable. I'm doing the maximum number of automation for my product delivery, the qualification, like I have the less number of bug in the field. For quality assurance, this is very important, right? QA engineer want to find the bug before customer find. So that's one of the main bar we have to do, right? So I'm doing in all category, doing great. But when it comes to the leadership, then I'm thinking, how can I do all 4 projects at the same time? Will I be able to invest good amount of time in all 4 projects or all 5 projects or whatever number of projects, right? So then I realized my manager or my mentor at that time, he was like, listen, when you are individual contributor, you are focusing on one project or two projects, whatever assigned to you, and you try to make sure 100% execution and all that all by yourself. The moment you move to leadership role, then you become generalist. You are not specialist of all four projects. You are doing exactly opposite of what you are doing. So now what you are looking, if the execution is going smoothly, because all four projects have four different lead who is executing that, they should be the one who is very expert in their particular project and they know ins and out. Your job is to make sure they don't have any blocker and they don't get stuck into something or no dependencies there from other team. Your job is to figure out holistically how you can make that process smooth. So you have to shift your mind that instead of let's do 1 2 3, instead of that you think, oh, how I can make this projection that when the project will be delivered and how we should strategize that so that the project delivery doesn't hamper execution and all that. So think about becoming specialist to generalist, not more of 1 to 3 step of executing XYZ project.
Yeah. As you were talking, and as I think about some of the leaders that we work with, and they go from independent contributor, or they may have a small team, and then they move into leadership, they struggle with that mindset. So as you were talking, I was thinking it's a mindset shift to, I only have to think about me. Now I've got to think about me, the project, the team, the clients, everything. And then building a strong team. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but utilizing what you know to develop a strong team. John Maxwell talks about leadership is about developing others. And so, and then there's the oversight of it all. So I'm sure moving, that was a challenge in learning those skills. So it put you in a position to learn some new skills is what I'm hearing. That is exactly what I'm hearing. So you talked about balancing those skill sets, right? And so, as women move from independent individual contributor into leadership, as you said, the struggle between finding that right balance between strategic oversight and technical work. How have you balanced the demands of leadership, strategic thinking, people management, teams, with maintaining your technical expertise, if you will?
So I see like when first time I become manager, right? Then I have to take, I took a lot of leadership, like situational leadership, thought leadership classes. And every company offer them. So definitely Palo Alto Networks also offer them. So I took new manager courses just to make sure I'm familiar with it. I'm very good in general with people. And I made my personal brand as to-go person if anybody have any issues, right? So that's what naturally I am that person. But then I wanted to see much more strategic view of how other leaders are doing, right? So that's why I took all these courses to enhance my soft skill, to see how, when I'm doing my work, I'm only thinking about me. But when I'm thinking about my career growth, when I'm a leader, then instead of me, I have to see every individual person in my team, what motivate them, how they become depressed, what is their career growth, how they get excited. So not every individual person will be excited with the promotion, right? Someone will be excited with the title change. Someone will be excited with little bit more compensation. Some people become excited with technical challenging work, right? So every person is different. So to understand that, how you bring the empathy in your leadership is also a skill to learn, right? So all these things, I get the introduction from those courses, and then I practice, obviously, as I was telling you, I'm very good with, in general, very good with people to understand their problem, what they are trying to accomplish in next 6 months, next 1 year. So by that, obviously, with practice, it become more and more uh, second nature of me. So yeah.
So I hear you saying, you made the investment in yourself to, like, you were a great individual contributor, but I want to be just as good of a leader. So I'm reading books, I'm taking courses, and I'm not just taking them to get their certificate, but I'm taking them to add these skills to my toolboxes, if you will.
Exactly.
So I love that. You've mentioned personal brand. So talk to me about that, Dilruba. How important is it to develop your personal brand? And what types of things did you do along the way to develop your personal brand?
So personal brand sounds like something very fancy, but actually it is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
So as an individual or as a professional, whatever you are doing, you want to show that you are expert in that, right? So your personal brand actually shows that you are part of that area, expert in that area. For example, if I take my situation, right? I was a QA engineer, as I was mentioning, right? I wanted to be the best one to, for example, if I'm writing a test case for a project, I want to make sure I think through ins and out and make sure I find all the edge cases, making sure that when I qualify this particular project, customer found issue is way less than any other project, right? So I want to invest myself figuring out how to deal with this particular project exceptionally well, right? So for that, you have to invest and put a lot of attention to the detail, making sure that everything goes as expected, evaluate risk and mitigation, how you can, if something goes wrong, what you will do and all that, right? Outside of all that, this is just the technical expertise, right? Then how you communicate with the your peers, right? How you communicate with your top level, how you communicate with other team member, right? How you mitigate the dependency and all that. Overall, people should be able to like to work with you, even though those are the very complicated conversation, right? For example, when you are managing dependency, obviously the other party will be questioning, right? That, oh, you should have asked me this XYZ ago. So if you're prepared, you already show the communication that, hey, this was the deadline. We communicated the milestone long time ago. And this is what my follow-up was, 1, 2, 3. And now we are in the situation that dependency is not delivered. So these are very conflicting communication, but you have to make sure you manage it such a way that you are not finger pointing. You are making sure we are working toward the same goal, and this is where we are. Whatever happened before, let's put it aside and let's solve this scenario where we are in conflict, right? So you have to expert on the soft skill to navigate all this conflicting scenario. So basically, you are building your personal brand through all the situation. One is your technical expertise, one is communication with cross-functional team, communication with your own team, communicating with the top management, right? So with all this scenario, you are building your own personal brand that, oh, if there is a problem, if there is a complicated feature, I can go to Dilruba and talk to her. She knows where to guide me this way or that way. Then when I become the leader, I practice that even more, right? Now, all my team member, if they have any issue, they will first come to me and ask, oh, Dilruba, can you suggest who should I talk to? Not only for the project, not only for the professional, even for their personal problem, they will come to me, hey, Dilruba, I know it's work hour, but I want to talk to you in my personal life. This is happening. Can you help me with, what is the good summer school that I can send my kid? Or, they know I have kid because I share with my team member, so they are comfortable and they will come to me. So I want, like, not I want, it's mainly generically, if you want to build your personal brand, people have to be comfortable around you and people have to come to you for certain things. So that's reflect how people are perceiving you, right? So that's, in my opinion, is the personal brand.
Oh, I'm over here like clapping my hands because you're right on point with that. And I think for anyone listening to this episode, whether you've been a leader for a long time, or you're thinking about going into leadership, or you are new in leadership, think about your personal brand. Who do you want to be known as? You've got the technical skills, but according to the World of Work report, 2022, 2023, and 2024, those soft skills are still lacking across every industry. And I think when we spend that time working on being a better communicator, paying attention to details, providing a customer experience, and we're consistent with that, that helps build our brand. People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. I might not like you telling me that there's a bug in the system, but I trust that you're going to make it better for me and my department. And so I thank you for sharing that and sharing your experience with that. And because I know that that is something that's going to help some of our listeners as they listen to this episode. So I want to switch gears a little bit. I told you that we were going to come back and talk about teams. Teams are very important. You're no stranger to leadership. You've held many leadership roles in many organizations in your career. How important is it to you to have a strong team? And what are some things that you would do or have done to cultivate and maintain a strong team?
Two things I would say. One advice I got from my mentor early on in my career: always hire smarter people than who you are. So if you don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but you should be hiring smartest person you can find. The reason behind it is, when you are leader, you are not only delivering specific thing, you are delivering a lot of things, right? So if you hire smart people, they will complement your skill, and whatever you need help for, they can complement that. That's one thing I got from my mentor that I always practice. And second thing, I feel that I learned from my experience, that you have to be transparent to your team. So if you want to build a strong team, you have to be a transparent leader, transparent communicator. Obviously, if there is something confidential that you cannot tell to your team because of some confidential reason or leadership decision or whatever, don't share that. But other than that, you should be very transparent to your team. What I mean by that is, basically, if every individual person is doing something, and if they don't know why they are doing, it's not that important for them. But if you are a leader that who have a holistic view, you should share with your team that, hey, this is the company goal, and this is where we stand. Whatever we are developing here, that will contribute to the goal for our company, and you see how we are impacting that, right? Yes. Then they will ask question, oh, okay, so how my project is impacting this, how I can make it better. Then they become more curious, right? Because they see the bottom line. They see that, if I do good, then my company is earning money because of that, and that means I'm part of the bigger pie, right? So they become more interested, and they want to actually qualify better, because they want to be that person who work on that XYZ product that company CEO is announcing, right? So
Yes.
yeah, it's important for everyone to have the visibility, and it's important for everyone to see their contribution counts.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that is very important for me to build a very efficient team.
I love
I
that.
know quality assurance is very hectic and very pressured job, because when we are developing it, and then when before it goes to the customer, that comes to quality assurance, right? So we are the last person who qualify before it goes out of the door. So we have to make sure that everything we are following the process, we are making sure we are executing all the test cases, then we are figuring out all the defects before it goes out to the door, right? So there are a lot of time pressure for QA. But if you don't make the team environment funny and encouraging and exciting, then people will not pay that much attention. So that's why it's very important for team to be engaged and feel for each other. If something is not working, other team members should be able to jump in to help always, right? So I think, yeah, these are the building blocks for my happy team.
Oh, I love that. Hire someone smarter than yourself. Be transparent with your team. Create a fun, encouraging, and exciting environment. I think if people take those nuggets, their teams will be stronger. They can create results-driven teams and really get the work done. So, with that being said, and you might have answered it already, what does it take to foster an environment of transparency and trust? Is it the fun, the encouragement, and the excitement? Would you add anything else to that?
Sure. I think trust is another thing, right? So, for
Mm.
example, you are assigning a project, and if you tell your team member, oh, do it this way, this way, this way, then they don't have any creative contribution, right? So they will not think about it, they will just follow your instruction. And that's not a good leadership, right? So the reason why you want to hire a smarter than yourself people, because they have something to add to your bottom line, right? So then if you assign something, give them full authority to decide for themselves that what creativity they can bring into the workplace, right? Bring into the table. And then I'm not saying don't say anything, just give them the project and be done with it. No, give them the project, let them come back with some proposal, how they can make it better, bring their innovation in the table, and then discuss with that team member and see, you weight your pros and cons, and they decide that which way we should go. But you should give opportunity for them to innovate something new, bring something new to the table. That's why it's very important for team to be engaged and feel for each other. If something is not working, other team members should be able to jump in to help always, right? So I think, yeah, these are the building blocks for my happy team.
Oh, I love that. Hire someone smarter than yourself. Be transparent with your team. Create a fun, encouraging, and exciting environment. I think if people take those nuggets, their teams will be stronger. They can create results-driven teams and really get the work done. So, with that being said, and you might have answered it already, what does it take to foster an environment of transparency and trust? Is it the fun, the encouragement, and the excitement? Would you add anything else to that?
Sure. I think trust is another thing, right? So, for example, you are assigning a project, and if you tell your team member, oh, do it this way, this way, this way, then they don't have any creative contribution, right? So they will not think about it, they will just follow your instruction. And that's not a good leadership, right? So the reason why you want to hire a smarter than yourself people, because they have something to add to your bottom line, right? So then if you assign something, give them full authority to decide for themselves that what creativity they can bring into the workplace, right? Bring into the table. And then I'm not saying don't say anything, just give them the project and be done with it. No, give them the project, let them come back with some proposal, how they can make it better, bring their innovation in the table, and then discuss with that team member and see, you weight your pros and cons, and they decide that which way we should go. But you should give opportunity for them to innovate something new, bring something new to the table.
I love that. I love that, giving your teams an opportunity to bring something new to the table. I referenced the World of Work report earlier, and critical thinking is one of those things that they're seeing across the board that people are lacking. And so in order to, I think, build trust and create a two-way lane of trust between you and the staff person, is put them in scenarios where they can, again, be creative, where they can use those critical thinking skills, which goes back to hire people that can think, or start teaching people how to think. And people always ask me, Dr. Lowe, how do you teach people how to think? Well, you give them an opportunity to sometimes fail. You got to give them an opportunity to mess up.
I mean, if you give always the situation they are comfortable in, they don't have to think, right? You have to push them out of their comfort zone. So they are forced to think that, oh, how do I solve this scenario, right? Mm-hmm. And as a leader, if I tell, these are the steps to solve it, then they will not think. So
they'll never understand how to do it.
We have to create the scenario where they have to think, and then we have to guide them that, oh, okay, I get your point, why you come up with this. I think this point are good. The point you should rethink, or you should come back certain way, and let's discuss and go from there, right? So absolutely, at least the stimulation will start there, right? The discussion will start there, and we can be into some conclusion or solution.
Yes. Dilruba, many high achieving women in tech struggle with imposter syndrome and a lack of self-confidence when it comes to pursuing leadership opportunities. What candid advice and strategies can you share for women to overcome these mental hurdles and assert themselves in these leadership roles? What would you tell that woman who's saying, oh, this all sounds great, but
I think one suggestion is, first, don't think that what you are doing, it's not working. Think about what you have achieved so far. Reflect on yourself, and then see, if I can accomplish XYZ, then I can do this too. That will give you self-confidence. And then once you are confident, I think nothing matters. You will figure it out. You will think harder to identify, what are the things needed. For example, one of my mentor told me that, Dilruba, why do you want to be in next 10 years? Think about that and then work backward. Mm-hmm. So if you want to retire, in 10 years, if you want to become a VP of engineering, then think about, in order to go to VP of engineering, what are the steps you have to take, and reverse it out, do the reverse engineering and see where you should be now. Yes. So if you are behind, then push yourself to achieve the next milestone. Every small milestone matter, and every small achievement matter. And we should celebrate every achievement, not regret that, oh, I missed this deadline. Oh, I did not do this. How can I do that? Can I do it?
Yes.
So I love obviously that. Those questions come to your mind, but then you have to train your mind that, okay, I have delivered 10 project on time with 100% quality. Definitely next one I can do it. And I have to put little bit extra effort. Where I need to put the effort, you have to figure it out by reverse engineering.
Absolutely. Celebrate all of the milestones along the way, and just jump in there and do it. You've mentioned a couple of things. You've mentioned this several times throughout our talk, is that you have a mentor and relationships. And so I think that also it's important to have someone that either is within the company or outside of the company for mentorship guidance, as well as developing those strong relationships along the way. And what are your thoughts about that?
Yes, I think mentor and champion both are very, very important for career growth, right? When I joined as an intern in a company named Cheridian, I had a mentor at that time as an intern, and I still have relationship with her. And she was the first person show me everything about the corporate world, right? How to sit, how to talk, how to socialize your work. Because for me, I was thinking like a school project, right? Project is given to me, I'll just work and I'll finish, I'll submit. That's it.
Yeah.
That was my mindset in the beginning, right? And I was lucky that she was my mentor, and she was very open-minded, very growth-oriented. She told me one day that let's talk about something outside of work. I was like, okay. And then she was telling, I understand you graduated from Georgia Tech, you did all this. I know you have learned a lot of technical things, but let me teach you something. In life, only just working doesn't take you anywhere. So you have to work, you have to make your personal brand, but you have to make sure other people know about that. You have to socialize your work. You have to make sure, you know, excel with your result, also excel with your communication. So you have to go socialize what you are working on and what you want to work for. Because whatever you are doing, it's almost done, right? But you have to have the next project. You have to make sure you get the next visible project. How you get that? How you get the next big thing, right? You have to keep socializing with the leaders that, hey, I want to work on this. This is my interest, and this I have. If you have any project, you can ask to your manager, you can ask someone. But yeah, that's how we should do it. I can give even one recent one. May Wang is one of our IoT CTO of Palo Alto Network, IoT Security CTO. So one fine day, she just pinged me and she's like, oh, Dilruba, there is a leadership training happening. If you have time, please join this leadership training. I was like, oh, wow. And then I looked into it and I was like, oh my God, I was waiting for this. So I didn't even know, but she know that I'm interested, right? I talked to her in several occasions that, oh, I'm interested in this. Sometimes, it doesn't, you are not always up to date with all this information where, junk mail is going or something. Maybe the, training team already sent out an email and I didn't see it, right? But she was there to look out for me, and she was like, you should sign up for this. And I saw that, and it feel like, oh my God, what I missed, right? Then I register, and then now I will be joining that training. So you need someone who is looking out for you, not just technically, for overall, career growth. So yeah, you need a champion who can speak good thing for you, and you need a mentor who can guide and make sure provide some information that is helpful to you.
I love that. And I love the question, how do you get to the next big thing? We need people. We need people in relationships and people talking our names when we're not in the room. But even before that, we need to make sure that we are executors and that we're getting the job done and that there's quality in our work and that people are asking
if
us
you
to
if
be
you
on the
don't
team.
show the result, nobody will be impressed, right? So
No one will be impressed.
you have to show the result. That's the main step, right? After you have
Absolutely.
the result, then also you need a lot of you need to work out a lot of hurdle in order to make it socialize, going to the next step, right?
Absolutely. Dilruba, what are you reading that we should be reading?
So recently I started reading a book called Think Faster, Talk Smarter by Matt Abrahams. I think this is one book that I especially like because when I speak, sometime I put the filler word, sometime I get hesitant, or if somebody put me in the spot for speaking something out of nowhere, I feel hesitant and scared, or anxiety kick in, right? So I think this
Yeah.
book is giving us a lot of tools to handle that, and that's why yeah, I'm enjoying this book. So I think it will be a good book for a lot of people, because we usually are very hesitant with the public speaking. As a female leader, I see a lot of hesitation, so I think it will be one of the good book.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. We've been chatting with Dilruba Malik, Senior SQA Manager for Palo Alto Networks, speaker, award-winning WomenTech Global Ambassador, and country leader. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Visit the show notes to see how to connect with Dilruba. Grab a copy of Results-Driven Organizations, The 4 Keys to a High-Performance Workplace, and our special gift to you for being a valued listener. Until next time.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Results Driven Organizations podcast with Dr. Tanya Lowe. Be sure to review the show notes for the resources mentioned, and don't forget to grab your free gift available at freegiftfromtanya.com. Until next time.